ETH 2.0 can't come fast enough. There we go. So finally confirmed. So now I am supplying 90.99 DAI, and then the US dollar value of that is 91.16. That's because the value of DAI sometimes fluctuates a little bit. It's not exactly $1. If I want to borrow some money, I can click this, and that's going to turn my DAI into collateral. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm lending it out to other people. So I've dumped it into the supply pool for DAI, and now I'm earning interest on it.
So do you earn interest right now, or do you get notified when it gets like used?
So it's being used all the time, and the money is completely fungible. So your DAI is no longer like your DAI. It's just like the compound DAI. It's like completely the same as anyone else's DAI. Usually I would be earning interest right now, but at 90.99 DAI, I think so the way it works is that every single block I'm actually earning interest, but I think the interest for 91 DAI is so small that it doesn't count on this thing. But technically, like every single block, you're earning a little bit of money. So this number, if I had like 90,000 DAI, this number would be going up every single block. Like every 10 seconds, this would be going up. I would show you my bigger wallet, but I don't want to get hacked by you guys, so I'm using a smaller amount of money. So you have to use your imagination, but technically this would be going up all the time, like even right now.
How is the interest paid in DAI or in other token like C DAI?
The interest is paid in DAI. Yeah. So whatever you supply, you're going to get that back. And as I said, so it's not just the interest that's per block. The whole system works on a per block cycle. So interest compounds on a per block level, and you can also withdraw on a per block level. I can withdraw my money anytime. In fact, I'm going to withdraw my money because I'm not getting very much right now. So I'm going to withdraw the max amount. Still confirming, but that will, once that confirms, I'll be able to get my tokens back. So I didn't have to wait a day, I didn't have to wait 20 minutes. I just like, as soon as it confirms, it's going to happen in the next block. That's true for the depositing, for the withdrawal, for the interest. Everything happens on a per block cycle. It's super fast. Yeah. That's what?
Will the interest rate fluctuate?
It does. So you can actually see the interest rate is market set. Depends on how many people are borrowing DAI, and you can see it fluctuates. So right now it's right now it's 11.13, but it used to be 12%. I think earlier this month it was like, or last month it was like 17%. So it does fluctuate. Right now it's very high, so I would suggest you guys start compounding as soon as you can. If you listen to Poming's presentation and you think it's safe.
So is there any transaction fee?
There is a transaction fee. So every time I do something, I have to, a MetaMask window will pop up, and it's going to ask me, do I want to confirm this transaction? That window shows the fee. It's that window will show the gas price that you're using, and it'll show you the fee that you're paying. So I just paid 12 cents to withdraw my tokens. This fee depends on network activity. So if a lot of people are using Ethereum, it's going to go up. If less people are using Ethereum, it's going to go down.
So all transactions on the Ethereum?
Yeah.
So we can check every transaction.
That's right. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to trust anyone. You can actually look at it and see what's going on for yourself.
Okay, so every transaction is on chain.
every transaction. It's not just these transactions. Like this program that I'm using, I can actually, like, the code is open source, so I can verify the code. And all the mechanisms that are going on, you can actually see them on the blockchain. You can verify that everything is working the way it's supposed to work. So that's the beauty of DeFi. I think it's quite cool. So one other really cool thing about DeFi, this is more on the technical side, but it's still very important, is that DeFi, you can think of it as like Legos. Each of these applications is interoperable. So you have the stablecoin DAI, and then you can use that with anything else. So you have compound finance using DAI. And then there's newer applications, like there's a wallet called Argent, Argent, I think it's French. And this wallet has built-in savings. So you put some money into your wallet and it automatically starts building interest because it's got compound integrated into the back end. So everything kind of plugs together. When you have something really cool, like when you have a really cool DeFi app, it's not just a cool DeFi app by itself. It's something that can like enhance everything else in the ecosystem. So I think that's like a really cool and really important part of this DeFi movement. I think also one reason that I'm presenting this at the Taipei Ethereum Meetup is that I think that this effect, this interoperability will really drive Ethereum. So many people actually think that one reason that Ethereum didn't go to zero or whatever is because of some of these applications. So these applications are driving staking and stuff like, but it's not just that. These applications are all being built on Ethereum, and each of them, enhances other applications being built on the Ethereum network. So there's kind of a network effect, and no other blockchain right now has applications like this. Like other blockchains are faster, they scale better, whatever, they're more private. But the best applications, the best DeFi apps right now are all on Ethereum. I think that's huge. It's kind of like if you play video games, I think it's like with Super Nintendo or PlayStation. Like other consoles might have had better hardware, but if you got the best applications, the best games, then you're gonna win. So I think that this is really good for Ethereum.
So can we have such depth on Tron or on EOS? I think maybe we can have the same depth on other.
Yeah, I mean you can build anything on anything, but the thing is that these applications people have put a lot of work into them. So like you can do that, but it's going to take time. Like if Tron wanted to do what Ethereum did, it would take a while. Tron is so I would say the best example I would say is EOS, because if you wanted to build this kind of stuff on EOS, it would take a long ass time. But Tron is kind of interesting because my understanding is that Tron has cloned many things from Ethereum. So even though Tron, everyone likes to shit on Tron, but in some ways that approach, from my understanding, makes it easier to migrate things to Tron. So yeah, I still don't think I mean, I wouldn't invest in Tron, but like it's kind of a strange blockchain for me to talk about in this regard. But in general, I would say that I think this is very bullish and very good for Ethereum. And in general, migrating it to other blockchains would be very difficult because there's just so many man hours, so much time has already been put in to make these applications. You don't, it's not that easy. Okay, so anyways, as I said, the cool thing about DeFi is that when you have a really cool application, you can use like the superpowers from that application in other applications and build on that. So Argent, that's the wallet I was talking about. Regular wallets, you put your money in there, it's safe, but you can't really do anything with it. Argent, you put your money in there, you can, if it's DAI, you can start automatically earning interest on it. That's really cool. Okay, and another really cool application I like is called Pull Together. So everyone knows about lotteries, right? You buy a lottery ticket, and if you're lucky, which is never, you win a big prize. But usually you don't. Usually you just lose your money. Pooled together is a no-loss lottery, so you can't lose your money. And the way it works is that it uses, so a bunch of people buy lottery tickets, and then there's a pool of money, and that pool of money gains interest, and then the winner of that pool gets all that interest. Let me show you guys real quick. So you can actually see the pool at the website decentralize.us. There's no pool going on right now, but so you can see the last pool, someone won $200. The pool before that, someone won $300. Basically, a pool would be running for 2 weeks. A bunch of people put their money in, and then at the end of the 2 weeks, you get your money. You either win the prize or you get your money back. So there's no way you can lose this lottery. And the way it works is because it uses compound on the back end. They pool all the money, and then they gain the interest on that, and then that interest becomes the prize. Yeah, I think that's really cool. So this is like how DeFi is like kicking butt. It's very nice. Yeah. So technically, this is actually a savings account. So what's going on is that they made it into a kind of like it's kind of a fake lottery. It's actually a gamified savings account. So you're being tricked. So these people who would otherwise be gambling, degenerately gambling their savings away, they're tricked into being like good financial habits. So it's like a really positive thing that's being done with DeFi. I think it's quite cool. All right, so just in summary, DeFi is transparent. You can check everything on the blockchain. You don't have to trust anyone. Anyone can use it. All you need is a wallet. It's easy to use. I didn't emphasize this, but all the DeFi apps right now, they're built to be like super nice to use. Like Compound, the interface was very simple and nice. DAI is easy to use, and Uniswap, the token exchange thing, also was very simple, very nice to use. I think the biggest thing also is that this is not a technology which is like experimental and it's kind of cool now, but in a few years it'll be actually cool. This is actually cool today. This is something that's better than everything out there. You can use it today. You don't have to sign up for a beta. You don't have to be like an accredited investor. You don't have to wait 4 years. Like today, after this talk, you could like load up your wallet, log out to Compound, start earning interest. So yeah, I think it's super cool. One last thing is that I've said a lot of good things about DeFi, but at the end of the day, you're still trusting a lot of money with a program. So the security of that program is extremely important. My colleague Poming is a security researcher, PhD. He works with our company, which is a blockchain security company, and he will explain how to use these applications safely. So there are ways that you can lower the risk of using DeFi. So that would be available. And yeah, so thank you. Any questions? Yes, Vinny.
Hi, Andrew. I just want to ask about the risk of using DeFi. So I'm not very familiar with but I do know a lot of people they use MakerDAO. They put their Ether in track and then they lost it because the prices go down pretty fast, right? So even they over collateral, but they still lost it because the price just briefly dumped. So I'm just want to check, what's the other, the risk that you might need to use, DeFi.
That's actually that's kind of an interesting example because I was, in my head, I was thinking that security risk is the biggest risk, but maybe like financial risk, market risk might be the highest risk.
Yeah.
Because many of these programs, security risk would be the program being hacked in some way. And that's possible, but I think many of these programs have also been audited. So like if you choose the right programs, I think the risk can be quite low. But market risk is very high.